Hey everyone, we are live here this Thursday. Packers Thursday. Packers play the Lions tonight. Do that again. It teaches me how to do it and then doesn't do it
I didn't
right.
teach you how to do that.
Oh, okay. All right. So why are you with us today?
Thursday.
Oh, okay. Whatever. Well, there's a lot going on here. We have had such a busy week. We had a special guest on Tuesday come here and do some things that I can't tell you about. So, but that just
that was
happened,
cool.
and that's a stress relief gone away. That's over. All right, but it was everybody was pretty nervous about it. I'm like, oh, they'll just don't worry about it. It'll be fine. Just whatever, whatever. So I can't wait to tell you what that is all about,
When
and I will be able to tell you pretty soon.
Soon?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. So should we do some announcements first?
Sure.
All right. What do you got?
Uh,
We're gonna go backwards. It looks like.
we don't have to go backwards.
Well, you're starting with December.
All right. Just doing.
No, you gotta work when you're here. You can't just show up like a pretty face.
Join the Flying Needles Club. Come learn the basics of knitting from A to Z. That is a 6-week course starting. Oh, it started already.
Yeah.
Started on September 22nd, and it's the next time is October 6th. These are all Fridays, by the way. So it's the 6th, the 13th, 20th, 27th, and November 3rd.
So it's like a knitting club. It's not like you have to be there for the first one. You can join in anytime. It's like our sit and stitch, only for knitting and crocheting and any of that kind of stuff.
I knew that.
Okay.
The next one, is that right? Am I in the right? No. The next one is October 27th and 28th. Let's get finished. Get inspired in this 2-day workshop with Kathy Decker and Gloria Parsons.
Awesome. So if you want to sign up for any of these, how would they do that?
Go to the website. Go to the gathering.
Yes.
And click on events. And scroll down till you find the one you want, and voila.
Or you can call.
Or you can call a gathering, and I don't know that number.
Oh, you don't. 920. Kaylee can probably pop it up there for us.
Oh, I got it.
778.
920-778-8031.
Yes.
How am I doing? Good.
All okay. Right. Finish up there.
The last one, naughty or nice? And I already know the answer to that. That is Monday, December 4th through Sunday, December 10th. Right?
Yep.
That's all I
There's a second date too, right?
Yes.
Oh, or December 11th through the 17th. Stop laughing at me because I have no clue. You want to say anything about it?
No, we have a lot of people in there already, but if you still want to join, we might have some spots open for day students or lodging. I don't really know. They're so busy over there. I told you we were busy, but Trisha Cogert is here right now. So she has 65 people.
That place is packed over there.
Yeah, in the class over there right now. So they're like taking turns coming over to the shop, taking turns eating, all that kind of stuff, because we do have the 65 over there. So that's what we were kind of doing this morning, making sure everybody was all set over there and happy. And wow, some of her stuff is super amazing. I'm in love with this one over there. And I don't really care for scarecrows, but it's a really good scarecrow pattern. I really love it. It's a fall one. So
yeah, I walked over there.
Might have to do that.
I walked over there and talked to a couple of ladies that were from Michigan.
Yeah.
And we were talking St. Clair and Gull Lake and
your fishing spots.
All my fishing spots over there.
So Nick fishes with Mr. Pineapple. You know who Mrs. Pineapple is, right? So he brings you to all the
Scotty Rock Bass, yeah.
So as long as we're talking about Trisha Cogert, I happen to get all of the goodies that they got this morning over there. So Goose Denise, Denise, she made this cool pouch for everybody in the class. We had her make those for everybody. Trisha's fabric there, Halloween fabric. They got a little magnet in there. Also a cute, here, hang on, help me out. Also a cute little needle case that matches this. Isn't that adorable? I think these were from Denise herself. Isn't that nice of her to make something for everyone? And what else you got there?
Just a little note. Just
Yeah,
a
a little thing to write some notes on or patterns that you want.
This is a snuff jar. No.
What is snuff?
Oh, good God.
You don't know what that is?
No.
I remember watching Benny Hill, and he had them.
Okay. All right.
Get
No?
out of here.
All right. So anyway, can you go close up on this? This is
Well, it was right, some of that right there.
I didn't put any makeup on today, so I look tired. Yeah. Anyway, so this is a cute little sticker that we have for October. So if you place an order in October, you'll probably get this Stitch with Lisa Bongean orange fall colored sticker
I have one of them on my wall.
while supplies last. So get some orders in. We'll ship you one of those cool things. All right, and what else in your little needle pouch or pencil pouch?
It's a pencil pouch. Is that what it is?
I would say, yeah.
Ooh.
Ooh,
Caramels.
and a pen.
And a pen. Does it say Primitive Gatherings on it? It does.
Yeah, awesome.
It
Right?
does.
So those are the goodies from Primitive Gatherings for Teresa's class. You can have the caramels.
I don't need them. I know where they are.
I need them. Those are like power pills.
I got
for
a
me.
box of those sitting right next to my desk.
And then this is Teresa's project box. So Primitive Gatherings Retreat. Isn't that awesome? So this was in pretty packaging, but I already opened it all up. So there's these zipper pulls. So they're like really teeny tiny little zipper pull cross stitches. And then she has a flyer in here for the Jingle Ball. That's like 12 different cross stitch designers. And that's kind of like an online retreat type thing. And then there's this wool 9x13. He's called Samuel. And we have kitted this for her class people, but she has provided that. Get this beautiful little stork scissors.
Stork.
We have a whole bunch of storks by us. Those blue herons and the sandhill cranes, I call them storks. All right. They're just so fun to watch. So then she's got this beautiful punch needle. Isn't that great? Bittersweet bird. Oh, wait, here we go. Go really close, Kaylee.
I can't go any closer.
You can't go any closer?
Our other camera's in there.
All right. Well, all right. You got to wait. And then there's this other one here, and it's I'm so glad I live in a world where there are Octobers. Yes, because October is the best month ever. That's when all the cool people were born. Right, Nick?
Sure.
Pen from Teresa, a sticker from Teresa, a business card. How cute is
What does
that?
that sticker look like?
And this cute little needle minder, a little scarecrow. It looks like the guy from the Wizard of Oz, right?
He does look like the
Yeah,
Wizard
the
of
scarecrow. Isn't he cute? Don't be telling them who our guest is.
I didn't say anything.
Okay. Now you know we have a guest sitting right there. Awesome. You're gonna love our guest. Okay. So you hanging around for more, or what are you gonna do?
No, but I want to give something away,
Oh.
and I'm
what?
gonna put you on the spot. You know that I listen to music all day long. It's always on, always. So here's my prize for the day: a whole bag of these delicious caramels.
A whole pound.
A pound of caramels.
Are they the salted ones or the regular ones?
I don't know. They're
Well, quit
caramels.
beating them up.
Huh?
Just keep throwing them around.
So anyway, music theme here now. If you could pick 3 songs that describes your life, what would it be?
Are you asking me or are you asking you?
I know what my songs are. I'm
Well,
asking you,
let's
what are
go.
your songs?
Well, I didn't have a chance to think about it.
My songs are Greg Allman's I'm No Angel,
He is too. He's
Elvis
like the
Presley.
straight-laced guy you ever want to meet.
Elvis Presley, My Way.
Not Frank Sinatra, my way.
No, Elvis Presley, My Way. And Luke Bryan's hunting, fishing, loving every day. Those are my 3 songs.
Oh, okay.
Now, here for the prize.
Name your 3 songs.
The 3 best songs, and Heidi's going to let me know sometime today, and we'll get these out. We'll get these out, right? What your 3 songs are.
And then you're going to pick the winner from the 3 songs if you like their 3 songs?
Right. The 3 best.
So you're gonna read through all these comments.
I will read all the comments.
Maybe they should email you.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yes.
So
Yes.
they
Yes.
could email.
So what are your 3? 3 songs.
We don't have Nick email.
Lovin', Touchin', Squeezin'.
Like Journey.
No, that's a joke. No, I'd have to think about it because I'm very picky about what I listen to.
It could be anything. Any
No,
genre,
that described me.
genre, whatever it's called.
I get time to think about it. I don't like being put on the spot.
Well, you can email Nick your answers.
Yes, I will email Nick my answers
Yep,
when
and-
I've had some 5 seconds to think about it.
Yeah.
Why didn't you give me a heads
Just a
up?
little-
Don't you know how this
Okay.
works? You're supposed to give me a little like time to think about it, a little prep.
Do I ever give? There you go.
Yeah,
There's
that's
my
all.
email. Feel free to email me.
Nick will learn how to
Did
use
you
his
just put that
computer for the
on?
occasion.
Yeah, give me your 3 songs.
Can we
I'll
see
pick it out.
comments? Can we see comments? There's your comments. Can you read that?
Look at that. Is that Lorraine? Love Nick's 3 songs. Uh-huh. I can't read them, even with these glasses.
T is for the Tiller Man. Poor me, Vasco, Fishing in the Dark.
Those are good songs.
Good one.
Those are good ones. Yeah, that'll give you something to think about. And then Tuesday. No, not Tuesday. Next Thursday. Next
Pick the
Thursday,
winner?
I'll
Okay.
come back up and
You give
And
them
shit
hard
like that.
things like, your favorite songs, but not your favorite songs, the ones that describe you.
yeah, the 3 songs that describe you.
But what if I don't think that that's true? Because what have you ever done wrong in your life? You are such a rule follower. You are. You know it.
Cut.
It's just okay. I'm not saying
Those
it's
are
a
my
bad
3 songs.
thing.
I love those songs.
Yeah,
You know that.
Greg Allman. That's so funny, Nick. Okay. I'm surprised you
Well,
didn't
I
do
could
like
say Ted Nugent,
Molly
Fred
Hatchet
Bear.
flirting with disasters.
That's a good tune. That is a good tune. That's a good tune. All right. Well, I'm gonna get out of here.
All right.
I'm gonna bring our guest on now.
Okay.
So today's guest, fan favorite. She's funny. She talks too much. She talks way too much.
Oh, we like it
Kind
when
of
people
funny
talk a
coming
lot.
from you.
I don't need it from the peanut gallery over there. Good seeing everybody. Go Packers. I'll see you next week. I'll give you the winner of
They
the
got some good
prize.
songs for you.
Good. I can't wait to.
Country Christmas, Meatloaf, Bad Out of Hell, Toby Keith,
I do like the bad out of hell.
American Pride.
I do like that.
Tequila makes my clothes come off. Oh,
We have a front runner.
Is that Jess?
All right. Well, anyway,
Queen's Rhapsody,
are you done?
AC/DC, Back in Black, Elton John,
I-
Don't Let the
yeah.
Sun Come Down on Me. Yes.
don't let the sun go down on me.
Oh, whatever. I'm reading it from 8 feet away.
So
I
anyway,
can't even see it.
today's episode sponsored by Delicious Mountain Dew. Get yourself a Mountain Dew at your convenience. Okay.
It's gonna kill him one of these days. I
Yep,
keep
yep.
telling him, but you don't listen to me.
Once again, I'm going to go
How
out
many are you up to
my
a day
way.
now? Because usually you only tell me you have one. But
This
how
is 3.
Maybe you can get an affiliation with Mountain Dew.
That'd be awesome.
Anybody else?
So
have a
today's
Mountain Dew?
guest, the one and only Shelly. All right, I'm out.
Yay! It's Shelly.
Hi, everybody.
Shelly
Good
Valley.
to see us.
Hi, everybody.
Yay! So I do have a couple more announcements because we got
No, go ahead.
sidetracked there with that funny song thing. All right. Okay, Kaylee, ready?
Yeah.
Hang on 1 minute and Shell and I'll get to it. But Cross Stitch Club, October 18th is our next session. Join us for that. That Cross Stitch Club is getting bigger, 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 and bigger. October 22nd, the day before my birthday, Rug Hooking Club. That is on a Sunday. Come and join us for that. Wool Club, October 25th. That is from 9 to 4. Come join us for that. We have Bernina Social, October 30th. And then we also have Featherweight Club, October 30th as well. And then we do have another opportunity in October. Do you have the flyers for the Bernina events? Mm-hmm. All right. So I showed them last week. And the first one is the pumpkin quilt, the 2-day class with Megan. So that is a project I've made for the class. You come, you spend 2 days, and you work on the biggest, best Bernina there is. And we're going to show you how to piece. They're going to show you how to applique. They're going to show you how to do fancy stitches, decorative stitches. And then you are going to layer the quilt and quilt it and bind it all in 2 days, probably. You can do it. I know you can. And it's only $100. So come for that 2-day class. We're going to feed you lunch, set you up with a great project, and then you can learn all about the wonderful Bernina 790 Pro. And then we have 2 one-day classes following that with Robin, and they are on the long arm. So on the long arm, you will long arm quilt your flannel together, and then you will also learn how to couch yarn and make those beautiful snowflakes. Ooh. So you will go home with a finished quilt. I mean, yes, you have to bind it, but how sweet is that? So you're not going to go home with unfinished projects after these classes. And you have 2 days you can sign up for Robin's class. That is either on a Wednesday or a Thursday. And she can take up to 12 students in that class. All right. So join us. And that class is $150 and includes lunch as well. Okay. So those are all of our announcements. So let's get back to visiting with Shelly.
Hi,
and
everybody.
we are going to talk about, we are going to do a tutorial on joyful gatherings as well. So we know we don't have that video out. So we kind of figured out a way to work it in. So
Cool.
We're going to visit first.
Sure.
And then you can help me talk about some other things. But let's talk first about what's going on with you, because everybody wants to know. And I think sometimes instead of me trying to explain it,
Mm-hmm.
it's better if it comes from you.
Okay. I'm doing really well. Just everybody know that. I'm blessed. It's a journey, but I do believe that God always has a plan. I believe that this is making me a better person as a human being. And if you guys have questions, let me know, because I would do better.
Tell them what you have.
So I have AML, which is acute myeloid leukemia. And with the normal leukemia, it's just leukemia, but I have certain antigens and I have certain antibodies that make this a little bit more trickier to treat. So I do a lot of chemo. And what I need to do is just get down to a certain point where I can get a bone marrow transplant.
And the one's coming, right?
Yep. So I was scheduled for one in July, beginning of August. We had a little bit of a setback, but now we're back on the right path, and we're hoping for, I want to say December of 2023, and I hope to be back working in 2024. That's my goal.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
So
we can't wait till you come back.
I can't wait to come back. I'm telling you. Oh,
I know. Like you always go, oh, I can't wait till I retire.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait. But then when all of a sudden something throws you a wrench, then you really appreciate that day to day.
You do.
Go to your job.
You do. It's like, I was telling this earlier, it's like there's a difference between being tired and being fatigued. And you always want to say, I just want to sit on the couch and do nothing all day long. Oh, my Lanta, that is so boring. Oh, there is nothing on TV that's worth that. So,
right. It's better to go to, have something to look forward, be a part of something.
Absolutely.
And when it's not there, you miss it.
You do. You miss it, and you miss people, and you don't realize how much you interact with so many different people in a day, because you go to work and you see all your friends and you see,
your coworkers,
and
people
all that
come in and see you.
And then all of a sudden it's just like, wow, this is really kind of lonely. But then, thank goodness, you guys have YouTube. So I stalk you guys on YouTube and all that good stuff. So it's really nice to be able to still be a part of things and still be able to see what's going on. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I'm so happy that you're here with us. So
Thank you.
yeah, she's like said that she was going to stop in. And I'm like, well, she can be a part of live, and then you can see how she's doing in person, right?
See? Yep, I haven't disappeared yet.
No, we're not going to let her disappear. We're going to hang on to her. So let's talk. Let's do some more business.
Okay.
You can help me with some of these things
Sure.
because we have some exciting stuff. But
Okay.
let's get to the business part. All right. So let's look at a couple of your comments first here. God bless you, Shelly. Yes. And speaking of that, add Shelly to your prayer list, and whoever you pray to, we don't care. Anything helps. And I truly believe in the numbers truly make a difference when I've always asked for help with, whether it's a little baby that needs some help, or it's my husband that's going through a surgery, or Shelly here.
Absolutely.
It helps.
Absolutely.
I don't care what anybody says. There is power in numbers. Okay. So it's great to see you hanging in there. Yes, Shelly, prayer sent. Glad you are doing well. Keep it up. Oh, yes. Everybody's giving you the prayer signs, sending prayers for Shelly.
Bless you guys.
Yes.
I
Thank
miss you
so much.
all. I miss you all
Yes,
terribly.
yes, we miss her too. And what's funny is one day you thought you had like a blood clot, something was wrong with her leg.
Yes.
And then she goes to the doctor and they say the L word, and you're like,
I had a pain in my leg and it was bothering me for a couple of days. And it was one of those things that my husband kept saying, go to the doctor. And I'm like, oh, it's just shoes I wore or whatever. And I finally went and they did the blood work. And it was so weird because they came back in and I'm like, so do I have a blood clot or what? And they're like, oh no, we have more worrisome problems than the blood clot. So that's how. So it was one day I was working, and literally the next day I was at Theta Care Cancer Center, and it was crazy. So it was like, how do you even wrap your head around that? So
right.
yeah.
And, well, this is how you wrap your head around. You thank God
Absolutely.
every day that you're healthy and that you don't have those issues, and you live your life to the fullest, because you never know when, because we're all dying.
Right. Absolutely.
We all are.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
So we're not going to say that that's not going to happen, right?
No.
We're all gonna be there someday, but you never know when your day is. So I always just make sure
You have to live it to the
that
fullest. Yeah.
that you live your life, that you're, you make sure people remember you how you want to be remembered. Not, if you want to be cranky all the time, like my husband, Nick. Negative Nick. I know you don't believe it, right? You don't believe it. Well, sometimes I gotta like kick him in the head and be like, hey, you got it better than
Yep.
9/10 of the people on this planet. So
Yeah, you just have to, and if you want to hang out with people, you got to make sure that you hang out with your peoples and family and all that stuff.
Yeah, and quit putting it off for another day.
I'll do it another day, or I'll call them another. You can't. You have to do everything. Like, it sounds silly, but you have to do it right when you're thinking about it.
Yep.
Yeah.
When do I think about you, Shelly? Do you know what day it is? What day do I usually contact you? She probably can't remember. It's not every day. It's not every Sunday. But when I'm sitting there on Sunday and I'm stitching, and then I kind of think about, all my people, then I'll send a little text out. Hey, how you doing? Or, and I'm not perfect. I don't do it every Sunday, but
no,
that's usually when
that's when I get these random texts.
Yeah.
And it makes me smile. So
I'll
it's
be like, hey, I miss you.
I love it. And anybody that wants to text me, I don't mind, because some days I can answer right away, some days I can't, but you can literally feel that love over the phone.
Yeah.
Literally feel that.
Yeah, and that's all you really can ask for, because that's all that really matters in the end is your friends and your people, right? That's all that really matters, right? And so, all right, well, let's do some fun stuff.
Okay.
All right. Not that talking about life is not fun. It is. Okay, so let's talk about Moda Blockheads. Do you know anything about this yet?
I do.
Okay. She's been stalking, she said. So Moda Blockheads is just starting. So I believe we are on 3. I get confused because we had that one in the middle, right? So I believe this was number 1. So I'll show you my progress, and then I'll hand them over to you. All right, this was the first one. This one I might remake, because I decided, it's okay to change your mind. So I decided that I was going to use this silver in each one, It's called silver. So my backgrounds are always the silver. And then I'm going to use color every time. But then I also really like this navy. So I kept using the navy as well. So I went in the store over there and grabbed a yard of this American blue navy, Bella. And I'm going to put that in every one of my blocks as well.
This is the one they were talking about the most, that people were struggling with the most.
I'm going to tell you. And I know I shouldn't say this because I was working from the wrong templates, because Moda sends us like everything early. And then we're supposed to look at our blocks, and then we make it right. And we find any boo-boos. Well, I didn't, I'm in a hurry. So I just pulled out those templates and I started making them. Well, 4 of the templates were wrong. So half of my block was right, but then the other half was wrong. So I was just sitting there making that other ones over and over again. And I'm like, what the heck? And then I looked at, I'm like, I bet you there's a new set of templates. So I went, downloaded the real templates, and it worked. So, but I planned on like banging that out like super quick, and then it didn't go that way. All right. So there's my signature block there to go with that. So if you want to join us for Moda Blockheads, those blocks are released every Monday in the Moda blog or Facebook group or any of that type of stuff. So look for those there and just join the fun. It's 1 block a week. You can do it. And before you know it, you're going to have another whole quilt. So that's what's fun about the quilt-alongs is before you know it, you're on week 15 and have 30 blocks already.
That's crazy.
All right.
That's crazy.
All right. So Twilight Stars is our, we're on, this last week was 15. So here is block number 78 and you have 81. So those are our 2 blocks. You can see I didn't trim them. It's okay. You don't have to trim them. But we already have 30 blocks. So we're doing 2 a week on those. So
it seems like you guys started.
I know. Time goes by
so fast.
So fast. Like I want it to just slow down. But we don't get to choose that, right? We don't get to choose. So speaking of Twilight, every week we pick a winner off of our social media sites, and they are going to get a beautiful charm pack here with 4 caramels. It looks like a sticker or 2 in there and some goodies. All right. Pop up the winning picture. Is this your photo?
That is the cutest. I love that
All
one.
right. Jody O'King. You are the winner. So thank you for making us giggle. And thank you for, what was the dog's name again? Sawyer. Sawyer for being such a patient critter. Look at that. He's such a good boy.
It looks like he doesn't even notice.
Yeah. He's like, okay, don't show my face. Like he's almost like, you're really going to do
Mom.
this? Oh, we got to do it again.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So thanks for that awesome picture. And each week we pick a winner. And then at the end, we're going to pick a winner of all the winners and maybe quilt your quilt or give you a $250 gift card for the store. One of those. So what are the criteria for posting? You only have to post the 2 blocks that week that I tell you about. So on Friday, we release those blocks. And this week, I don't know the numbers, but I kind of gave it away last week. So you knew which one to make ahead of time. So tomorrow, the 2 blocks will release. And then you have a whole week to show your work and to enter the contest to see if we pick you as a winner. And if you haven't noticed, sometimes the funnier or the weirder or the stranger your post is, you might win, have a better chance.
And some of the displays that they do are
just they are
gorgeous.
So good.
I'm like, oh my gosh.
Right, color coordinating.
I know,
everything.
and the photography is so nice. I'm like, oh.
So now they know what it takes, right, to do all that.
Dogs.
Staging. Exactly. All right, so we are going to talk about Joyful at the end. I'm going to talk first about, it is September 28th, and we can talk about our newest release for Moda. So my little fabric line here, I say little because it's a pop-up fabric line. Do you have anything that maybe show all the fabric?
Yeah.
So what's really weird is my fabric is late. So we just got it I think the end of last week. So we're Amy's busy down there cutting it all into kits, and you can kind of tell from this picture that these weren't the real fabrics, were they? These were the strike offs that they actually changed. So when you
Those are
see it in
beautiful.
real life,
Mhm.
the red is a lot deeper.
It's a deeper red.
It's a deeper
really
red.
pretty.
So those were those were the tweaked strike offs that we didn't tweak yet. And you probably remember me saying that we had to tweak that a little bit. But so we have this cute little fabric line called Dear Santa, and it's 9 prints, 3 of each of the prints. So there's 3 prints in there. And one of them is like a little ditzy. The other one is like a star and a dot. And then there's a stripe. So those are the 3 little prints that are there. And then, of course, we did different colorways with each one of those. And then the last one is the panel. So here is a part of the panel bolt that they sent us. All right. But I'll show you the full out one because guess what I finished about 5 minutes ago. So I finished doing all the stitching last night, but then I had to bury the starts, all my tails from starting. So I was just doing that right when Shelly walked in. And this has not been pressed. So it's going to be like wrinkled from being in my hands.
Isn't that gorgeous?
But you want to help me?
Yeah.
So you can see this being stitched versus, so I'll show you that. And then you can see how the panel will look if you don't stitch it. So see that? So it adds so much more to it. And I use a number 5 weight Valdani thread, and it is 0775. I used 2 balls, not quite 2 full balls, but I went into a second ball. And what I did is I just kept like measuring my lengths, and I cut the whole ball apart. And
so you just kept going.
I had all these lengths there because it just goes so fast. This stem stitch goes so fast.
It does.
Yeah. And it is so fun. And we have, all right.
Here, can I show it up close?
Yeah, so Kaylee will show it up close so we can get a good spot. All right, so there, it'll focus. There you go. Okay, stop moving there. Look at that. Isn't it beautiful? And like I said, some of you are going to love to stitch it, and some of you are going to be like, it's good enough. I don't have to stitch it.
That's okay.
Yep, and that's fine too. So I want to show you all the projects that we have with this fabric line. So we have a book like always. We always do a fabric line themed book for each one. So let's start off, Kaylee, with, we're not going to do, let's do like the panel quilts, the 2 panel quilts. Show us Countdown to Santa's Visit. So here we go. Look at how fun this is. So this one right here is 78 by 86. So that panel is almost a yard. So it comes out to be like 34 by 42, I believe, when you trim it down. And then we just added some half square triangles, kind of like the Amish quilts when they did that.
Yeah.
You know, lots like big open spaces for quilting. And then the sawtooth in the middle like that. Isn't that gorgeous?
I love that.
Yeah, I like that too. So we did, and then we did something called Dear Santa, I Can Explain. So this is another quilt using the panel, and this quilt is big. This is a king size quilt, 99 by 99.
That's a big one.
And then we added some snowflakes that you can stitch. And no, you're gonna have to trace those. Those will be in the pattern. We didn't put those on fabric for you. Only the Santa comes pre-drawn. But I think you can handle 3 different snowflakes, or maybe 6 different snowflakes. I don't know how many of them are different. Yeah, it looks like 6 different snowflakes on there. And then we will have no, this is not the one with the ruler for this one. But do you see how we have Dear Santa, I Can Explain, that you can stitch with, again, probably a number 5, I would think.
Yeah.
Kind
of
of
it to pop a little bit.
The cream, on that red. And these ones that we are showing you now are all in the book. We do have one single pattern with the panel, but we're going to go through all of the quilts. And I believe all of these are up on our site for a pre-order for a short time until we have to place our order, and then they come off. All right. So go to our website, go under the Live with Lisa button. That's where all of the Dear Santa is located. I just checked it out right before we came on. That's what I was doing on my phone, even though Nick thinks I was looking at my messages. I was looking at our website to see where these were. And then next up, we have one of my favorite quilts, and that is called Santa in Flight. So this one is with our iCanoe ruler.
Ooh.
So we did a smaller ruler instead of the 6-inch block. This one will be a 4-inch block. So this quilt is 64 by 72, and you will make those units. It'll be very simple. It's kind of almost like you'll use a template to cut that middle triangle, and then you will oversize the outside sides and then oversize the corner, and then you're going to take a square up ruler and
just trim it all down.
down. Okay, so that'll be super fun. And this is just using 2 fabrics, and we used a stripe in there. So the stripe is either going to make you go crazy but it's going to look fantastic, I think, when you can see it in real fabric.
Peppermint candy.
Yeah, and I'm making B, which is North Pole. So this is the one that Nick starched the other night.
Ooh.
So I am just about ready to cut this one out. 50 by 50. It's a small little lap quilt, but super fun.
Very nice. I like that one a lot. Yeah.
Yes. And then next up, we have Santa Tracker. Again, another kind of nice lap quilt, 50 by 50 or wall quilt that, would look really good behind maybe you have a small tree that you put on a table, like behind a, sofa and the tree in front of this quilt. This would be awesome. Yep. Or it could be your tree skirt. Right? You could put a hole in the middle of that baby and make that into a tree skirt.
You could.
That would be fun.
That would be pretty.
50 by 50 is actually perfect for that. And then next up, D is another big, easy quilt kit.
What is it called?
Twinkle.
You said D.
Did I say? Oh, I said D.
Yeah.
Sorry. Twinkle. So there you go. Now, again, big, fun, easy half-square triangle quilt, probably. I think, maybe looking at it, those 2, there's a wonky piece up in that corner. You see it? It's not a half-square triangle. But it looks like a elongated quarter-square triangle. But fun, right? Okay, then next up, I'm making this quilt as well called Little Gifts, 55 by 67. Using all of the fabrics in the line plus 4 bellas. So 2 reds and 2 creams I added to that to make it a little bit more interesting. Instead of having only 9 fabrics, we have 13 in this one. And what's fun about it is I have this one all cut out and ready to go. So this one is just, you're making triangle paper, and then you have squares to make those broken dish blocks, and set really easy. So you're only making 5 or 6 sets of half square triangles with that one.
That'll go quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be fun too.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that half square triangles in that are 1 1/4 finished. Different size, right? And then we have Santa Tracks, which is a cute little 9-patch quilt made out of, I believe, 4 fabrics in that one. So those right there are all the quilts in the book, but that we always add other things. We'll add some ornaments. We'll add a wool mat. We'll add some other things to our books to beef them up. It's just, this fabric isn't going to come out until, next June or something like that. When does it say? May. It's a May delivery. So that gives us a lot of time to work on some of the other projects for you. So you always know that we add more things than just the quilts, but we have to order our fabric so far ahead that it's nice to know what you guys like. So when you pre-order a kit, that gives us a really good idea of what's the most popular.
It does. It actually does. Yeah. It helps a lot.
Yep. Okay. All right. So is there anything more on Dear Santa? Do you have any questions on Dear Santa? Let's see what they say. I have to 9-patch blocks. Yes. 9-patch. Everybody can do a 9-patch, and it's never too good for 9 patches.
Can they pre-order fat quarter bundles of Dear Santa?
Yeah, we usually do that. So wait a minute. This is a half yard tower. So they're all half yards. Unless we cut fat quarters ourselves, Moda only did half yard bundles. and the panel is not in here either. So this is the 9 fabrics, half yards. So that's what we have as a pre-order, but we will probably put up 1 yard bundles, half yards, all of those, and fat quarters. Okay. And then you'll be able to buy the panels. Just give us, we don't have all the Moda SKUs yet. We are asking for them today. So we'll get them up on our fabric, on our website, so you can pre-order the fabrics. But just know right now, I think that we got the kits up there for now with the prices and everything.
What is the background color of the Santa panel?
It is it's kind of like the Bella 182. I want to say it's a perfect match, but I don't know if it's perfect or not. It's hard to tell. That's how close it is. All right, because one of them is digitally printed and the other is commercially printed. So they are very similar. I don't have that one with me right now, that Bella, but you all know that this matches my Bella 182. My light is always 182.
Yep. What size are blocks in little gifts?
2.5 finished. 1 1/4 half square triangles.
And how long did Santa take you to stitch?
Ooh.
Well, not very long. Probably, I know Lori did hers in about 1.5 days. I would just work on it a couple hours at a time. So probably total 8 hours, I would say. It takes longer to bury the tails. I'm not counting burying the tails.
Yeah, no, that's the longest part. Yeah.
But what I would do is I'd stitch. And then like when I picked it up the next day, I would bury all my tails, and then I would start stitching. So I don't know, not very long. Trust me, it did not take long at all to do it. So it really was fun and it really went by fast. And I just sat down while I was eating lunch to bury some more tails. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm done already. So
it doesn't take long once you get going.
Yeah. And it's really fun with that really thick thread. And it really looks good.
All right. So back to Blockheads 5. Did you draw the templates on paper or plastic for this week's blog?
I just used the ones that came off the computer. You print them and you look, there's a square there that says 1 inch. So you make sure it came off as 1 inch. And then I just cut around them and I didn't make any templates. So there's English paper piecing where you'd make templates. If that's what you want to do, you would make those templates. Paper foundation, paper piecing, that's what those templates are for. So literally you look at the pattern on the front and you're putting your fabric on the back and you put the 2 fabrics right sides together and then you sew on one of the lines and then you flip that up and then you move to the next one. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of tutorials out there. If there's not, then I will do one, but I'm pretty sure that Brigitte would have a tutorial on that or somebody will.
Moda actually posted
a
step-by-step tutorial for that block. It's on their that page somewhere.
Okay.
On the inspiration page.
All right. So Heidi just said that there is a video out there on how to do that foundation piecing. And I'm going to tell you right now, you're either going to love it or you're going to hate it. There's like no in between on that. And I don't mind doing it, but I just don't want to do a whole quilt. I dislike the fact that all that paper stays in there right up until the very end. And then once you're blocked, like when you're pressing open and you're pressing open paper and all that.
Then you have to pick it.
Yeah. Because if you look at this, you're going to still see shards of paper still in here from me pulling that out. And I probably didn't even get it all out. See, it's still probably in there. And I probably went, oh yeah, it's good enough. Once it's washed, it'll come out of there. But I don't like that. See, to me, triangle papers are different because that paper comes out right away before you sew your units together. So like I said, I don't mind doing a little bit of it. I just don't want to do whole quilts like that. And bless those people who do, because
labor intensive.
And like I said, there's always 6 different ways to do everything. And if you could easily take those templates apart that they give you, add 1/4 inch to each one, and you could probably regular machine piece them too if you cut them out that way. So there always are a lot of different ways to do things. And that's why I didn't give you anything this week on what I changed, because I just did it the way that Moda showed you how to do it. You got anything else, Heidi?
I got a few more.
All right. I like questions.
Yeah. All right. How do you starch large quantities of fabric?
Okay.
And if you have a video on that, they would appreciate knowing where to find
Yeah,
it.
there's a couple of them out there,
I'm
isn't
sure
there?
is, yeah.
All right, so if you go to my YouTube channel and maybe just even type in starching, you'll find the videos that talk about starching. But I can kind of just in my mind, if you think about this, okay? So the first thing that I do is I figure out what is the biggest piece I'm going to need for the quilt. So let's say I have 99-inch borders, all right? So I'm going to cut off a 3-yard hunk. Let's say I have 6 yards of background. I'm going to cut off a 3-yard hunk, and I'm going to keep that 3-yard hunk intact. I'm going to starch that 3-yard hunk. All right. So that's how I would break that up. And then when you have 3 yards that you are going to starch, you're going to cover your surface. I always use my ironing surface. I have like a big board area that's probably 20 by 60. And I cover that with an old towel. And fabric is 44 wide, right? So 44 by 108 is 3 yards. So I'm going to open that up, salvages here, and I'm going to lay that on my table. All right. And I'm going to probably have whatever I can lay on my big board, probably a good 15 inches, right? So then I totally starch that 15 by 44. Then I take my fabric and I pull it and I lay it on, and then I pull it back until I can see where my starch ended from that first 15 inches. And then I starch the second 15 inches. So I just keep laying it on top of each other, and I just keep starching away. And I always start from the backside because it's easier to tell where you missed from the backside. And just remember, a little reminder about the red dot on your starch can. Line up the nozzle with the red dot. Sometimes we forget about that. And it really was a long time before I reminded people about it, because I just figured people knew. And then when I saw some people like complaining that the can wouldn't empty, I'm like, well, you know about the red dot, right?
Yep.
And they're like, no. So
Reminders
the red
are good,
dot
yep.
will help the can empty
out,
all the
yep.
way. Yeah, I was starching this morning too. I was starching some more navy for my Moda Blockheads. I got it over there drying. So starching is okay. I don't mind doing it. I usually do it at the beginning of the day or at the end of the day when I can't think or
it's
or
relaxing.
do anything
it's
anymore.
Peaceful. Yeah.
My favorite is to do pre-cuts though. I love to just starch 5-inch charms or 2.5-inch charms. Yeah, they're easy. And you just keep piling them on top of each other. Just keep squirting. And all that starch just soaks into the fabrics. So don't be afraid to do it. Just try it on one quilt if you've never done it. She found it. All right, Lauren, good job. Yes, and then the handle. So if you have hand issues, and trust me, it's like little by little, and my hands start to hurt a little bit more. So there's a handle for a spray can that you would get like in the paint store, like your Home Depot, and you can put that on and you just line up the nozzle. So the nozzle is spraying out of that, and you can do this instead of this.
Game changer.
Yeah.
Absolutely a game changer.
See, to me, because I have tennis elbow, this hurts more than this.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
because I have tennis elbow. So it's the grip here this way. So here's the handle. So Kaylee knows where all of our paraphernalia is over there. So you would just squeeze this like that. Put it onto your can. Here. Put it onto your can like that. Line up the nozzle and the red dot. And then you're just using the trigger like this or like this. So yeah, maybe I could do this. That one to hurt as much as this does. All right, so that is ready to go for starch. And there's my starch of choice. The heavy duty faultless.
Yep. I want to know if it ever sticks together.
What?
Charm squares.
Sure. And then you unstick them when you peel them apart.
Yeah. That's the fun part.
Do you ever worry about starch fumes? It hasn't killed us yet.
Yeah, it smells. It's got a smell to it.
It definitely is a smell to it, but I don't
It
think
doesn't bother me
I
though.
don't think it's a toxic thing though.
Yeah, I don't think it's a toxic either, but put a mask on if they bother you.
Yeah, I like the small starch. So
Yep.
Did you use interfacing on Santa?
I did not, but I'm going to. So what she's asking is, so some people put it on before. I usually do it on the end. I don't like stiff in my hand. So when I'm stitching this, I just do it like that. I just hold it like this in my hand and I just stitch. I don't use a hoop or anything. So you see no hoop marks or anything. But now that it's done, now I'm probably going to put some fusible interfacing on the back. So one of the things when you use the thick thread and you're trying to tuck your tails and you like kind of like weave it through and then you cut and it just seems like it, you know, with this thick thread, it's kind of hard to keep it under the stitches. So I'm kind of maybe going to go back with a little bit of glue and glue some of those little tails to the line so they're not winging out. So what you don't want is you don't want that like to be hanging out, you know, because the batting will be behind here and then you'll see this little red line from the front. So that's what we don't want. So you want to try to tuck those tails the best. And I need to give this a really good flat pressing to make sure it's flat as can be before I put that fusible interfacing on there. Very, very lightweight, heat and bond, fusible.
Do you put knots on your threads?
I did not use knots at all. So I don't start with a knot. I start with a tail and then I start stitching. And then when I end, I flip to the back and I do a couple little weaves and then I do like through the stitches. And then I trim. So the only thing I'm weaving back through are my starts. And I usually leave about 3 inches so it's enough to thread it and then weave that tail in. So there is no knots on the back of that. Okay.
What size thread is that again?
Number 50775.
And the book comes out
May
2024.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
All right.
Okay.
And then last but not least.
Oh, I didn't talk about the other pattern either.
They want to know about the quilt.
Oh,
yeah.
So this right here, if you forgot, we did a whole tutorial on this quilt right here. So we'll be releasing that probably within the next month. Right, Kaylee?
Yep.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So we'll have from start to finish. I think it's a 3-part video, maybe 4. I don't know how we're going to end it. But it's all done and ready to go. And it's fabulous.
And it's all wool.
It's all wool. And then the back, I think, is a flannel. I use the flannel. And then I use flannel as binding, too. But, yeah, we had this at the show in Madison. And they were quilting it at the show. Because here's the thing. When you're going to sell something, I want to see what it can do, right? I don't want to go up to a long arm and just write my name or do something.
No.
I want to see that baby working. So we brought quilts to the show to quilt. And it was fantastic to see that beautiful machine running back and forth across this. And people could see that in action and not just, go up there and run the machine. Because if you're going to run a long arm, probably 9 out of 10 times you're going to do pantographs, edge to edge designs, because I'll be honest, that's where the money is. I mean, you can make money custom quilting, but it's very labor intensive and it takes a long time. Where edge to edge, you can do 2 quilts in a day if you do edge to edge. Okay. So that's just my 2 cents on that. And if I'm going to buy a long arm, I want to see it working.
Right. And you want it to make you money.
Right. And I want to see it quilt a real quilt. I don't want to see some 108 wide fabric. I want to see seams. I want to see all those things. And I want to see that machine go over all of that. And if they're just quilting on a piece of 108 wide fabric with some batting and backing and no seams, is that real life? Not in my world.
No, it's got to get over those.
Yeah. So like in these intersections here where I have seams, right?
So rich looking.
Yeah. So this will be coming soon. I promise. We do have some kits for that as well. And I'm going to tell you right now, just be prepared. If you really love this, it's wool. Okay. And it is, I believe, 20 fat quarters of wool. So it's not going to be an inexpensive kit, but you don't have batting in there. All right. So you don't have to put batting in it. So that's one thing you don't have to buy when you get this quilted. All we did, because there's a foundation in here of muslin, like cheap muslin. And then we just put the back on as a flannel. So you do not have to put batting in that one. Okay. Yes, Regina, you did make the live. Welcome. We love it when you join us live.
Awesome.
All right. I think one more question and then we can
go
to the next
All
one
right.
here. Where can they get where and when can they get Santa?
Okay. So Santa right now is up on our website as a pre-order. Okay. And we'll be talking about Santa. You're going to be seeing all kinds of social media posts about Dear Santa. I kind of like, like today, everybody in Moda can tell everybody about their fabric line, right? And I think there's like 28 of us. Well, I don't like to do it the first day. I like, like the little calm down a little bit. And then I kind of like, hey, here I am, right? So I don't know what you'll see from us today, but did you go on Instagram and see what Jillian did with our little music? It's so cute. I loved it. Yes. Yes. So Jillian hooked us up. And then we have one more other pattern that goes with Dear Santa. That's just a single pattern only, but we did it 3 different ways. Do you have 3 different ways? Or you only have one?
I don't have any.
You don't have any?
Terry didn't have that one.
Terry didn't do that one. It's a secret. It's a mystery. Hang on. Next week we might show you that one.
See?
You know which one it is, right? That one. Can you see?
Do you want them to see?
Here. It is. I'll show you up close.
This one right here?
So it has star blocks and they alternate. And then we've done it with just red stars and then just cream stars only. So we didn't alternate them. So you can make it more red or more cream, or you can do it half and half like this one.
They might not have heard all of that, but
Okay. I don't know. I talk kind of loud, don't I?
they might.
Okay. All right. So what we have up next, I gave away the prize.
Yep.
Is there any other prizes I got to give away, Miss Heidi? Or are we going to do that after we're going to make them hang out and watch the video?
Yeah. I do have one more question for you.
Okay.
Because I screwed up answering this poor lady. She wants to know if that quilt behind you could be done in all flannel.
Sure. Yep.
Instead of the wool.
You bet. It's all done the same way. Yeah. As a matter of fact, it would look amazing in the Lakeside too.
Oh, that would be gorgeous.
Yes. Yes. And speaking of Lakeside, Val was supposed to be here this week, but Tim has had to have he has some health issues with his knee and he couldn't travel. So therefore, Val did not make it over here. They were supposed to go to the game. That's why Nick and I got the tickets. So yeah, right. So we have something for Lakeside for the tower, a project. So stay tuned. Val and I need to get together and figure out how we're going to release that. And we'll be putting that out there for you guys who bought the tower of Lakeside and you don't know what to do with it yet. All right. We got something super awesome for it. You will love it. I promise. Everybody that I've showed it to really loves it. All right. So next up, am I picking names first or after?
That's up to you, but I think after.
Okay. After Heidi says. All right. So we're gonna do videos on 8 and 9, but just FYI, I've pre-done a lot of work. So I'm gonna show you the units, but I have if there's 4 units, I already made 3 to make the video shorter. Okay, because you've already seen me do half square triangles. You already have seen me doing a flying geese. So I'm only gonna do 1 in each block, and you'll get what I'm saying. Okay, but it's not gonna be as long. And just a little heads up, we need to cut these videos out of this video and put them into the playlist for Joyful Gathering. So I'm going to do an intro and an end each time I do the block. So don't go away when I say, okay, see you later. Just hang on, okay? Because I need to do a beginning and an end to each video. All right. Okay.
Let's go.
We're going to do an intermission. Don't go away. We'll be right back. And I'm going to pick some winners. So keep commenting. Yep.
right, hang on.
All right, we're back. Now let's piece together block number 8 of our Joyful Gatherings quilt along. All right, so this one, I've kind of done a little work ahead because we're kind of, using this video in with another video. So we don't want to waste a lot of time on this one. So I've already done some of the units, but I've left one to stitch for you guys. So block 8 consists of a 4-patch and then this, I don't know the technical name for this. Is it a triple? It's not a quarter square triangle, but it's a half of a quarter square and half of a half rectangle or half square triangle. I can't talk right now. Too long of a day. So we're going to make this unit and then the 4-patch units. So let's finish up this last unit here. So I have both of my triangles here. I always lay things out how they should be put together. So I'm going to double check. So these two are going to go together here. Yep, I forgot to move that back out of the way. Thanks, Kaylee. All right, so I'm going to line those up and I'm going to run them to the machine. It's going to be quick with only sewing one. Usually we keep running all of them through. I'm going to press that to the dark. Give it a quick little press. And then I'm going to line these two up, right sides together. And look at that. They match beautifully. So in case you haven't noticed, I do not make things bigger and then trim them down. I believe we can make things the correct size. Now you can either press this toward that half square triangle there, or you could press that open. Pressing is a personal choice. You can do whatever you want, or you can do one of each just to show you can do both ways. So this one I pressed open. If you want to press open for flatter seams, or you could, I don't think that's detrimental to do it that way. All right, so I have these units here all ready to go. I'm going to clip off some dog ears, so that's ready to go when we're done. How many of you are now saving your dog ears, your quilt seeds? That's what I really call them. All right, I'm going to put that back on my diagram there. And then I'm going to take these two guys right here. Now you could sew squares together, or you can sew long strips. I prefer to sew long strips when I can. Again here, you could always press this to the dark, or you could press this open, whatever you choose. We're going to go open on this one. I'm getting pretty good at ironing left-handed. What do you think? All right, so now I'm going to lay this on my mat, grab one of my rulers and my rotary cutters right here, and my directions say to cut them apart at 1 1.25 inches. So I like to stand when I cut. So I'm just going to trim off one side to begin with. So I have a nice straight starting edge. And then 1 1/4, 1 1/4, 1 1/4, and 1 1/4 is 5. So I'm going to start off on 5 if I ever get that little thread off of there. All right, so I'm going to take my ruler. I'm going to try to go right in the middle, like Kaylee says, in the middle. And I'm going to put 5 right on that edge. And I'm going to line that up. And then I'm going to cut. And then I'm going to move it over to 375. Then I'm 2.5. Now, how do I know these numbers? Does anybody know? Because I do it a lot. And I'm good at adding those numbers together. So once you do this for as many years as I have, you get pretty good at it.
What do you do with your quilt seeds, Lisa?
I put them in mason jars.
But then what do you do with them once they're in
I
mason
look at
jars?
them. They're pretty. They're an accomplishment. Like all of the hours that I've made making half square triangles. All right, move to 3.75, 2.5, 1.25. And then I think this one got a little wobbly. So I'm just going to squish that one back up. See that? That sometimes happens, right? Okay, so there we go. I got a whole bunch of little things here. I must have a little nick in my blade. It's time to go on that one. So now we're just going to turn these and make the 4 corner blocks, just like that.
What size rotary cutter are you using today?
I love my 60 wide. 9 times out of 10, that's the one I use because I'm always cutting multiple layers. So I like that I always have that one with me. So it is a little harder to line up when you press these seams open. They don't nest like the other ones do when you press to the dark. So kind of keep that in mind. It doesn't matter, but. And then what you're going to do probably then, if you press these open, you're going to press that last seam open too. But I would always press that last seam open, whether you press to the light or the dark. Or what
scissors do you keep at your machine when you're...
I see. We've got a lot of questions today. So here's my favorite scissors. This is my primitive gathering scissors. It's beautiful stainless steel. It's super sharp and it's lightweight and it's beautiful. It's an heirloom scissors. It's not like got plastic handles or none of that stuff. It's super durable and awesome. What's that? Yeah. Okay. Good job. Link those things. All right. So there you go. I quickly made those. See how nice they are? I'm just going to give that a little finger press. Little finger press. I have my little pressing stick here as well. You know I love to use that. And just this little finger press just gives you a head start. You don't burn your fingers, especially when you're ironing left-handed. And sometimes you don't need the bar.
Okay, we'll also put a link for the steam station. Yeah, people are asking about that too.
Flip, 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 flip. All right. So there we go. Now I want to warn you that when you're lining these up, it's easy to turn these 4 patches. So make sure your darks are making that chain with the center. Ask me how I know. I had it all finished and then nobody saw it until, when was it? Like just last week?
Well, I made the thumbnail and I saw.
Yeah.
I had it up.
So I had to fish that one out and turn it. So if that happens to you, you are not alone, okay? We all do it. All right, so now these 2 all together. Like I said, this is where you're going to turn one if you're going to do it. Because of course you laid it out right? I love it when you post your blocks. Keep doing that. I love seeing all the stitch along shots this week with all of the things you're doing.
How many blocks are in Joyful?
25 for 25 days of Christmas. And we will have them all out before December. So now we're going to take these and add the last row. We'll add the last one to each row.
The quilt behind you is Kindred Spirit.
Okay.
They're wondering about it.
Yeah. So the quilt behind me is from Red and White Gatherings. It's called Kindred Spirits. And we probably have kits for it yet, if it's still around. All right, so now we have a decision to make. So here's my blocks. All right, so now I like to press this to the center because that's easy. So then that means these have to go toward the 9 patches. Or you could go the opposite way, it doesn't really matter, but 2 of them are going one way and then the center is going in. So these are going out. So I'll just lay that on my board here. right. Now we're ready to sew the 3 rows together. So now here's where we bring the pins out. And you know I love my little magic pins here with the little grips on.
So I think so I'm seeing some comments I might misunderstand, but they're wondering how many tree blocks there are. I think they're
25.
thinking- yeah.
So there's 25 blocks total, meaning 25 trees total.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep, 25, 25,
So
25.
each tree gets a block. I think.
Yep. Yeah, so I'm just making those blocks inside the trees. I gave you all of the directions for the trees in block 1. All right, so that's where all that is, and mass cutting. So you could have cut all 25 tree parts already ahead of time, and that is all there on block 1.
And in the description, that video link is right there for them to go back to.
Okay, so Kaylee said, if you look in the description under this video, there is a link there for you to go where you can find that first set of directions. And every one of these blocks are free the week that we release them. If you miss a week, then I think, what do we charge for these after? Anybody know?
$3.
$3. So $3 if you miss. So even if you're not doing them, remember to get there and get it printed.
Does Primitive Gathering sell the strip stick?
Yes. We do. And the strip stick comes in several sizes, I believe 4 different sizes.
The pins that you use, are they easy to bend? Like, do they bend easy?
The longer ones will bend, but just get the shorter ones. So I'll show you here. So here's, is this good, Kaylee? Can we see?
No, we won't see that.
You won't see that?
Here, if you just kind of hold it steadily, I can find it.
So they come in different
So
sizes.
don't move now. There we go.
So see how long? If you don't like bendy pins, get the shorter ones. Because they are super fine. So they will bend if you manhandle them. All right, so let's check those intersections. They look really good. All right, one more press open at the end. Here's where you need the stick for sure. Sometimes those little ones I cheat and don't use a stick, but when you have multiple seams like this, then you need the stick. So when you see me cheat, because I finger press sometimes, just get that open. All right. Do I got all of the chain going through? It looks that way. I passed this time. All right, so that's it for block 8. Stay tuned for block 9. Okay.
All right, you're all set now.
All right, it's time to do block 9 for our Joyful Gatherings quilt along, where we are making 25 Christmas trees before Christmas of 2023. But it's super easy, and we can do a block or 2 each week. And this week you are getting 2. You are getting 8 and 9. So if you've missed any of our blocks, or maybe you're stumbling upon us for the first time, you'll want to go to our playlist for all Joyful Gatherings. Watch all the videos. Watch the first one. That's where the pattern is for the tree pieces and parts. And each week I will do a video on the block inside of each tree. All right, so like I promised, I wanted these videos to be a little bit shorter today. So I have pre-done some of the stitching that we need for block number 9. Can we put block number 9 up here now, Kaylee?
Yeah.
Time out, we need to just switch the props. All right, now on this one, I'm just going to give you a little bit of advice. So there are 2 different triangles. This like here is supposed to make like an elongated, and then this one here. So these are 2 different fabrics. You might want to pick some that are a little bit more contrast than I did, but hey, it all works for me, and just a little a little tip that if you want them to be more pronounced, that maybe you pick different fabrics. All right, so I need to make 4 flying geese with 2 different reds on each side. So I've already made 3 of these. I'm going to show you the last one. And then I'm also going to show you this half square triangle, which is pieced. It has 2 different fabrics here. So I can't wait to show you how I came up with that. So I don't have my pattern with me, so I'm assuming that goes that way. All right. Okay, so here's the flying geese unit right here. I made sure that each print is on the right side, so I'm going to pick that up, place those nicely together. And sometimes it's really good idea to flip it to the other side to make sure you don't see any overhang. So you'll see me do that once in a while, because a lot of times if your units aren't coming out right, you didn't line it up good. All right, they go really fast when you're only making one. So I'm just going to finger press that, put the next one on, line that one up. Check the back side, looks good. Scooch it over a little bit. There we go. Oh, and I unthreaded my machine, of course. I pulled that last one out way too fast. See, when we do this, when this happens, when we're shooting a video, we can cut this out. All right, no harm, no foul. All right, let's go. All right, there we go. Now I can hit this with the steam. All right, so here I would have 4 of these that look just like this. I'm going to trim off the dog ears on the sides. And then if you want, you can actually like lay your ruler on here and trim these off. So this looks like 1 1/4. And there they go. So this one's going to go there. All right, now I need to make this other unit here. All right, so watch this. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to piece this triangle onto this rectangle. So right sides together like that. I'm just going to push that triangle up. I don't probably need to press that because I have enough starch in it that it's going to hold that. Now, all I'm going to do is I'm going to take this shape and I'm going to put it right here and line those up. You could trim that off just using that straight line of that triangle, but I'm kind of lazy. I'm just going to do it all at once at the end. So I'm just going to run that through my machine. Just take my scissors, give it a quick little. So there I have that pieced half square triangle. Open that up quick. Ready to press. Trim off my quilt seeds. And then I'm going to place it in there. So when you get it this far, this is where you check to make sure that that's the same fabric, that's the same fabric. All right. Okay, so now I can start in the middle, piece those together, then piece these together, and then that be 1 row. So that's how I'm going to tackle that. I don't know what the directions say because I don't have them with me. I don't know where block 9 went. So how do you get blocks 8 and 9 today? You are going to go to lisabongean.com. You're going to go to Quilt Alongs and you're going to print out the patterns.
Or you can go to the video description.
Yes, or go to the video description and then click on the link and it'll be there as well. Lots of ways for you to find us. All right, I'm pressing these 2 open.
Hey, Lisa, your steam generator.
Is that a trick question? Not as long as they should. No. The thing is irons aren't meant to stay on for 12 hours a day. And let's just face it, mine's staying on 12 hours a day. So with that in mind, you really have to take that into effect of how long they're going to last. So one of the things that happens with the steam generators is sometimes it leaves a nasty like mark on your fabric with like rusty water, you know, because we don't empty them all the time. So that's one of the downfalls of the steam station. As they age, they get, you know, built up sediment in there, and sometimes we call it like craps on your fabric. Really, that's what we call it. So sometimes that kind of bugs you after a while, and if it keeps doing that and keeps doing that, it's time for a new iron, right? So we are testing a new iron here at Primitive Gathering, and it is the Laura Star, and it's a beautiful iron. And one of these days I'll bring it on and show you how it works. But it is a high-end iron. It's very expensive, but hey, if it doesn't crap on my fabric after a while, I'll probably like that, right? So that's the only downfall of the steam generator. It's kind of like, how long does your car last? I don't know. How much do you drive it? Yeah, how do you drive it? All right, just a quick little open here of this last seam.
Sherry Fallon says it only seems to crap on my fabric.
On the white ones, yes, exactly. Or when you're done with your block and you're just giving it one final press, like I was doing the other day with my Moda Blockhead one, and it totally like crapped all over. I had to wash my block totally, and I had to scrub to get all that sediment out. All right, so here's my center. I wish I could have, like I said, maybe made those a little bit more pronounced, but hey, it is what it is. So now I'm going to piece these side ones together. But that's a great question. You know, no matter what, at the end of the day, they don't make things like they used to. Nothing lasts like it should anymore. So that's really frustrating when we pay hundreds of dollars for an iron and it doesn't really, you know, last forever. But when we're using it 12 hours a day, pretty much every day, what do we expect, right? So
I'll never forget when that iron crapping happened to me for the first time ever when I was here. I thought I was like gonna get fired. I thought I was just didn't know what to do. Ran and got Amy. It was
yeah, it's scary because, you know, all of a sudden it's got all these brown streaks on your fabric. All right, I got the two sides done, and let's just make this easy and just press them away from the flying geese unit. So I'm going to press toward that last triangles. So those are ready to go on. I might as well just put them on right away. I'm going to pin when it's all these little units. Line up that center seam.
Do you use distilled water in your steam station?
I read to what it says. And I have well water at home, so it tells me to use half and half distilled and half of my water, because my water's filtered too. So I don't know. No matter what I use, though, it does it. We use all distilled water at the gathering in our irons, and it still does it. So
what is the best way to take out scorch spots?
I use hydrogen peroxide a lot to take things out of my blocks. I usually don't scorch. I always keep my iron moving, and I use lots of steam. So if you're using lots of steams, you shouldn't be scorching anything. So if you're using a dry iron and get scorch marks, ooh, yeah. I always say steam is your best friend. All right, so I got the sides on. Looks pretty good. We're going to press that seam maybe in. We could press that one open, though, easily. There we go. Now the last two. Did that speed it any up by me pre-doing some of them, Kaylee, or is it still long?
Oh, it did.
It did?
We're a little over half an hour for 2 blocks.
Okay, not too bad.
I have a question for you.
Yep.
Get closer. She says she's a little confused with the 2 different fabrics. When you use the triangle paper, do you make one of each fabric?
Okay, the 2 different, I don't know what she's asking me.
I think, were you talking about 2 different reds or?
You're not using triangle paper for that? Remember, I just cut those triangles?
It was strips. Right?
Yeah.
You did?
It was a cut triangle to a rectangle. Is that what they're talking about? This one here?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I don't think they realize, because it's hard to see, that there are 2 different. Remember, you said you pieced that 1/2.
Right. Right. But I showed that. So maybe they don't see it close enough yet.
Yeah, it's hard to differentiate the 2 fabrics on here yet.
Okay. So if you want to take that block and go up close to the camera and show them that there's 2 fabrics there.
And they said they really appreciate you taking the time to be successful.
Yeah, I want them to love this as much as I do. That's like a known fact.
So right here and here.
Yeah, and that's where I want you to make those 2 fabrics a little bit more distinguishable than what I did.
Yeah, the camera is just.
It's like super blown out
Yeah.
too. Yeah, it's hard.
It all looks the same.
Yeah, when you print it out on your pattern, you will see what we're talking about. Uh-oh. What did I do? Okay.
Not right now. She was probably.
It was doing it.
Still don't see the different fabrics. Yeah.
I mean, I'm staring right at it.
I know, that's what I'm
It's-
saying. Yeah, just trust us. There's 2 fabrics making that triangle.
Oh, we lost our overhead. That's what we need the new camera for.
Yeah. We do.
Well, we're almost done. Uh-oh, you think I can make that work? I can make that work. I can fudge that. So see how my square's just a little off? Oh, we lost the overhead. So see, it's a little off. I'm going to fudge that, all right? I'm going to make that work. It can.
$1 to anyone who can find it in the final quote.
Yeah, right? Yeah. Okay, now we're going to put the top and the bottom on. Flip, flip. I cut myself right there the other day on when I was cooking in the kitchen and the gathering on the hot plate, you know, that stainless steel. And then now when I'm trying to stitch, it's like right in that spot, like
Of course it is.
right in that sweet spot. I only pinned in 3 spots. I hope I probably pinned in a couple more. Looks good. Yep, it's hard to see those 2 reds.
Now, if it would have been one of these.
Right, yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Switch it up so you can see them really good, because they looked different enough when I picked them out, but because they're so little when I stitched them, it was hard to tell them apart when they're so tiny in the shape.
You want to talk about what model of Juki you are using?
I am using the 2020 PE Juki. It was a platinum edition, 2020 it came out, and it was supposedly only 2,000 of them made. It's a beautiful machine, but you can't get one anymore. All right, so let's check that one out. That matches pretty good. Okay, let's press that last seam open. Is it back on?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So now we just have to trim this one up. Get my little ruler out. So there's lots of little just wonky seams there. So I like to just put that on there and trim up those little edges. So see the difference that makes? Cleans up all the strings. I don't think I did that on the last one, but it looked a lot better than this one does. All right. Wow, it's a little messy on the back. There we go. Block 9 is in the books. And join us next week for Block 10.
Go back on. Okay, you're on.
Yeah, we're on, right? So you see how I had to end that so Kaylee could end that in our video when she puts it in the playlist. All right. So do we have any questions before we pick our 3 winners for today for joining us live? Any other questions before we go on making your blocks? We're looking good?
You're looking good.
All right, everyone. All right, our winners for today. Please contact Heidi at her email address that we show you, and she will be sending you out some prizes for joining us today. And we really appreciate you. And don't forget to go check out the Dear Santa pre-order stuff on the website for today. All right, we have Pamela Emery. You are a winner. Mary Kay Mabry and Vicky Lietzen or Lietzau. All right. Congratulations, winners, and we will see you next week here, 1 p.m. Central Standard Time.